Hey guys, Mr. Zip 66 here. We're inside the Painted Desert Trading Post, about 35 miles east of Holbrook, Arizona, on Route 66, on the old alignment of Route 66. It was probably bypassed somewhere in the 50s. But this is the Painted Desert Trading Post. It's an old abandoned curio shop. They sold drinks here. I believe they had a gas station here for a while. Started by a gentleman and his wife named Dotch Windsor. Dotch started it, started to expand it. It was out in the middle of nowhere, even at the time. And he sold drinks and built him a little empire here to make his little spot on the Mother Road to do business. Him and his wife ran this for a number of years. They divorced, I believe, not maybe 10 or 12 years later. And then Dotch remarried, and they ran the Painted Desert Trading Post for a little while longer. I'm not sure how much longer. I would imagine up until they bypassed this section of the freeway. Interstate 40 is out that window. This is the outside of the trading post. You can see it's the east side of it's dropped quite a bit. So, you know, it's really kind of a miracle it's still standing. You can see that old, the way they built this. Those boards on a slant. They used just regular lumber, no plywood, all kind of hand stuccoed. This is kind of the cool side of it. Cold drinks, rugs, curios, kind of the same stuff you see now on, you know, Route 66. If you're up on by the freeway or taking some of the back roads, you know, people are interested in the same things. They came out here, you know, from the west or from the east, and everybody wanted a piece of Arizona and the Southwest. And even to this day, I've done some motorcycle tours where people are very, very interested in the, you know, in getting just a piece of the Southwest. You know, whether it's a Native American rug or you know, some moccasins or whatever else. I remember when I was a kid, I would beg my dad to stop at these places so I could get me a rubber tomahawk, you know, just what every boy wants. So this is the back of it. You can see it's, you know, some of the roofing has all come off. You know, just that corrugated iron or corrugated steel roofing. Just stuff lasts forever if you can keep it on. This looks like over here, and this is the first time I've seen this. I'm not sure if that's a wheel hub or if this is where he had his well. I believe in the time he had a windmill back in the day here. No, that's just an old wheel hub. But a standpipe here. Here's kind of the back of the structure. But it's just a bitchin' old place. You know, it's funny, when I first got the bug on Route 66 when I was probably around 20 years old. I found an article about it, and this was a few years after Route 66 had been bypassed in 1984, and my wife and I looked for places like this. You know, we'd see them in a magazine, and, you know, it was before the internet, before you could really chase this stuff down and you know, find exact locations. So you had to just go out and find it and look for, you know, culverts by the side of the freeway and see if you could find evidence where the freeway turned off, where old alignments of the road were. So it's quite a bit easier now. So this is one of those places we'd found, but pretty cool. Figured I'd share. I'm going to go down here. There's an old bridge down there you can see. I'm not sure if you can see it from here. We'll go look at an old farmhouse over in the distance. But anyway, here you go, guys. Painted Desert Trading Post. Very cool. It's a relic. It's historical. And I'm going to post this on my blog with some historical pictures, so take a look when you get a minute. We're down at the bridge here below, or just west of the Painted Desert Trading Post. Here's this old bridge here. See, it's kind of crumbling up a bit. Not too bad. It still looks pretty sturdy. know, kind of gravity's getting to it as well. You can see down here in the river wash, they used old cars, and they did this for erosion control. Basically, you know, you can see where that river bends right there. You know, if you don't have access to big rocks or anything, they call it riprap to you know, to keep that curve of the river from, you know, pulling out the bridge abutments. You use whatever you can, and these guys just happen to have some old cars. So I'm pretty sure they're a little bit too organized for me to think that somebody just pushed them down there, but you never know. You see the roofs are caved in a bit. So anyway, this is just kind of a cool old stretch of Route 66. There's quite a lot of it in Arizona, which is why I love this state. The longest uninterrupted stretch of Route 66 is between Needles, California, and Ash Fork, Arizona. You can pretty much take that whole thing uninterrupted on old alignments that went quite a bit north of where the present Interstate 40 goes. But this is pretty cool, man. I love this shit. So looking back that way, you can see the Painted Desert Trading Post. And anyway, it's my video. Look for it on my blog, MrZip66.com. I've got quite a few years of documenting little parts of Route 66 here and there. And thanks for taking a look.